One of my favorite holiday traditions is the lighting of the Advent candles. As you can see, this is the Advent candle that we've been using for over 25 years. It's rather small and it is simple, and it fits easily on our kitchen table. Now, like all Advent wreaths, it is made in the form of a circle. It has 4 candles around the circumference, and in the center is the white Christ candle. Now this year we're using the traditional color for Advent, which is purple. Now personally, I prefer the royal blue candles like we're using our Advent wreath in the sanctuary. But the time kind of got away from me and I forgot to order them. And you wouldn't believe how hard it is to find blue tapered candles even in a city the size of Houston. And so I had to go online and order those candles, and they'll be here and I'll use them next year. I like to think I'll be super prepared. So I went to our local bookstore and I bought these, and they'll work just fine. The first Sunday of Advent, we light the candle that is symbolic of hope, for we hope for the coming of Christ that will be at Christmas. The second candle that we light is for peace, for the prophet Isaiah foretold that the Messiah would be called the Prince of Peace. The third candle that we light is for joy, for on the day of God's appearing, we shall greet him with great joy. And then the fourth week, we light the candle of love, for love came down at Christmas. And then on Christmas Day, we light the white Christ candle because Jesus is the light of the world. In the prologue to John's Gospel, we read these words, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What came into being in him was life, and the life was the light of the world. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness shall not overcome it." Now, most of us know that Christmas song called the 12 Days of Christmas. What you may not know is that the Christmas season lasts 12 days. In our family, we have a tradition that on January the 5th, the 12th day of Christmas, we begin to take down our Christmas tree and ornaments and all the decorations around our house, and we store them only to bring them out next year as we prepare for Christmas once again. Now, one year when Becca was 2.5 years old, we did something different. Instead of putting the Advent wreath away, we held one candle back, the center Christ candle. Becca particularly enjoyed participating in the lighting of the candles. Her favorite part was blowing them out after we had used them. In our home, it's been a long time since we've had a 2.5-year-old, but we have continued to keep a Christ candle on our table, and each evening before we eat our meal, we say these words, "Jesus is the light of the world." It's a way of remembering that he is the Lord over our family. Now, a few weeks ago, I was out shopping, and I found something really cool. You know, the trouble with real candles is that they burn deep down into the candle itself, and you have to have a long lighter to stick it down to actually light the candle. And it requires some maintenance because you have to pour the wax out from time to time. But as I was shopping, I was found this really neat artificial candle. It's fairly simple. You just turn it on and off. And from a distance, it looks like a real flame. But when you bring it up close, you can tell that it's fake. But there's nothing fake about Jesus. He is God made human, drawing near to us. He's the real deal, and He is the one that you can count on. The light of the world. He is the hope of our salvation. In John 3:16 and 17, we read these words, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him shouldn't perish, but will have everlasting life. For God sent His Son into the world, not to condemn the world, but to bring life to all people." I hope on this Christmas Day you will continue to hold Christ at the center of your celebration. And I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas.